Cristiano Ronaldo, his sole purpose, the only reason Juventus bought him was so that he could win them the Champions League. In 3 seasons, yeah, they won domestic trophies, but early knockouts in every single Champions League campaign was definitely a disappointment and left a bitter taste in the mouth for CR7's legacy in Turin. In major transfer market news, he has made his way back to Manchester United, demanding that he wanted to leave Juventus, pretty much submitted a transfer request. He had enough with the Bianconeri, and now it's time to shift our focus towards the 35-time champions of Italy to see if we can replace CR7 and win them their first Champions League in over 20 years. That's right, we've got a FIFA 22 mod installed. We've got all the brand new transfers up to date. Despite being a 5-star team, they lost their first game without Ronaldo, 1-0 to Empoli at home. The Serie B champions brought them back down to earth, and now it's time for Sir BCHD to fix this mess in the post-Ronaldo era, on a mission to set the record straight and bring back Juve to the top of Italian football after they were dethroned by Inter last season. We've arrived with the drip absolutely on point. Just take a look at this fit. I'm destined for greatness. This is what one listen to Donda does to a man.
They playing soccer in my backyard. I think I see Messi.
Like I said, even before we got into the video, brand new teams have been updated, new transfers have gone through, and we didn't even have to sell him this time as Ronaldo's automatically been placed on United. The announcements were made and CR7 broke the internet again. Now here's what the Bianconeri are left with. The old lady looks downbeat, missing a key piece, and just diffused of their superstar power. A front three with Kulusevski, Morata, and Chiesa. We might have to change up the formation in order to bring Paulo Dybala back in the mix. However, we've got the new transfer. Locatelli has arrived. Improvements definitely need to be made here. Future replacement for Chiellini, who is now, 36 years of age. We've got Quadrado at right back, which I'm not fully confident about. And talking about new signings, we've got a brand new wonderkid arriving from Brazil. It is Caio Jorge. So many of Europe's top clubs were in for this guy. He was linked to Milan and Man City. However, he chose Juventus, and the 19-year-old is an exciting prospect. This mod has gone out of its way to give him a face scan. He looks as realistic as ever. And at 19 years of age, call me crazy, but I think we've already got our Ronaldo replacement in our roster. We could work wonders as there's such a rich history of Brazilians tearing it up in Serie A. So I think, hey, let's invest in the long term, look at what we've already got, and try to lead this kid to greatness to be the next big thing. To think that this was the last kit Ronaldo wore before he dipped, I just can't. That just doesn't compute in my brain. It is one of the worst Juventus kits, if not kits, I have ever seen. The other 2 kits, yeah, they're fire. They go alright, but this third one, this alternate jersey, they completely missed. No major money needs to be spent, but I am well and truly on the path of clearing the dead wood, balancing the books and getting rid of some players that need to be headed out the exit doors. We agreed with a transfer budget of nearly £100 million. We're not going to be struggling for cash whatsoever. You know, it's not a Sir BCHD rebuild without the homegrown talent, without some youth academy involvement. As you can see right here, we've got Daniel Bianco, an all-round midfielder who can play pretty much every single role. At age 16, he's already 6'2", 5-star skill moves, 4-star weak foot, and this is rare for a youth academy player. He actually has a trait with solid player. He could be the real backbone and engine to the midfield that Juve really needs later down the line. Let's sign him up, 60 overall. We're promoting him to the senior team. Guys, if you're loving this brand new FIFA 22 mod, make sure to drop the video a like down below, subscribe, turn on the notifications. We've got videos, we've got ideas, don't you worry. Sit back, relax, and let's get this transfer business underway. Now, surprisingly, our first piece of action is going to be making the loan deal permanent for Federico Chiesa. I'm pretty sure it's happened in real life by now, but in this roster update, it hasn't really gone through. So we've secured the deal. He's going to be here on a permanent basis for £40 million, arriving from Fiorentina. We're setting the record straight. We're making sure he's signed onto the books and he's given it the green light. We went from signing one Euro 2020 hero to selling one and booting him out the exit door. It is Leonardo Bonucci, who has been a club staple for over a decade now. In real life, I would have probably have kept him, but in a FIFA sense, he's on the wrong side of 30. He's only going to deteriorate from here. Not that we need the money, but £13.7 million isn't bad for a 34-year-old defender. He will be departing to Sevilla, playing his football in Spain, as he's going to be their brand new number 27. I'm sure you would have never imagined it, never thought it would happen, but in a Sir BCHD rebuild, we have sold 2 Italian stallions in a row and 2 core centre halves. We've got Daniele Rugani, the ex career mode legend, the wonderkid of years gone by, has been purchased by Lazio for £16.2 million, so he'll be headed down south to the capital, as those are 2 departures already. And on the loan front, we have got a Juventus Youth Academy player, Nicolo Fagioli, who will be joining Leeds United on loan for a 1-year basis. Now it's our first major signing, the main acquisition of the window, and we have brought back an old Juve player, João Cancelo. He knows the Serie A well, he's played with Inter as well, and the Portuguese right back will slot straight into our back four like he never left. We're running it back as we've agreed to deal with Pep Guardiola for £71.2 million plus 1 quadrado. He is headed the other way to Manchester, and what I do love about him now is that he can play on either side. Pep has kind of molded him into the perfect wing back, and we're now bearing the fruits of his labor as he's rejoined us on a permanent deal. It's probably the first of many swap deals in this rebuild, so buckle up and get ready. We're officially starting the right back clearance from the Allianz Stadium, as we've got our boy Danilo headed to Barcelona for £21.7 million, and that has allowed us to come through with our second big purchase of the summer. It is Lucas Klosterman. He's a defensive operator, but he can be deployed as centre back / right back and right wing back for £32.2 million. We'll take the German over from RB Leipzig and accept that, as he's become a brand new Juventino. Blink and you'll miss it. We have right backs and left backs headed out the door faster than you can say sold, as we've got Roma picking up Mattia De Sciglio, a piece of dead wood that I was willing to clear off the list and try balance the books out. We've freed up a bit of the salary budget with the 28-year-old departing and securing the move for £7.6 million. He's been tossed around Serie A clubs his whole entire career. Now here's an acquisition that I'm just trying to keep it realistic. We've got Mohamed Elhadouin, who has actually been purchased by Juve, been loaned out to Sampdoria, but in this roster update, he is permanently at Sampdoria. So we're most definitely going to be loaning him out as the Dutch super talent makes his way to Turin. We're finalizing the little details of his contract as he decides to join us on a permanent basis. Not for long, as we're going to ship him out as he tries to get some experience under his belt. But Mohamed Elhadouin, welcome to Juve. Such a solid coup for the former Italian champion, stunning piece of business in my books as well. And it's just a signing that came out of nowhere, really. We've got a training grounds update here in order to fit into our brand new system and the front three. We've converted Federico Chiesa into a left winger. It's only taken 2 weeks, so I'm happy to do it. More transfer market news as a Juventus youngster, the Romanian Radu Dragusin, is going to head to Cadiz CF for a 1-year loan spell. As the summer rolls on, we continue to cut the fat of the team, and a player that has become kind of a meme here in Italian football, it's Federico Bernardeschi. Started off as such a promising youth talent for Fiorentina, moved to Juventus, and he had 1 or 2 good seasons, but after that, he kind of turned into the Lingard of Italian football. Nonetheless, he's moving to England as Spurs capture him for £17.4 million. We've left things to the last minute, but one day before our opening Serie A match, we have secured the deal. It's a major acquisition here. It's Eduardo Camavinga. I know it's a basic wonderkid signing, but hear me out. We are swapping one generation of French youth for another, as Adrien Rabiot is involved in the deal, plus £20 million. He submitted a transfer request to Rennes, and up until this morning, he is actually moving to Real Madrid in real life. Showing great potential, and I can't wait to see him blossom and find his place in this midfield three. Let's see if Sir BCHD can get the best out of the French youth gem. Now, it was to my former knowledge that I thought Eduardo Camavinga would be our last major play of this transfer window, but no, I realized that Kulusevski and Chiesa have no real backup for them to come off the bench or replace them if they're injured. So I've decided to source a talent from the Premier League. Watford, the newly promoted side, will be poaching one of their best talents, but also providing them with an asset in return, as Aaron Ramsey will be returning to the Premier League. The 30-year-old Welshman, we've involved him in the deal, plus £9.8 million on top of it. Now I can officially confirm that that is our last purchase of the transfer window, our brand new number 18, a true super sub that could really surprise a few people here in Italia. The purchases might have stopped, but the departures surely don't, as we have sent out Mohamed Elhadouin, the man from Sampdoria, out on loan to Milan for some reason. Don't know how much game time he can get over there. And the centre mid, Nicolosi Caviglia, will be packing his bag for Turkey as he joins Alanyaspor on a 1-year loan. It's proved to be a knee-jerk reaction after Ronaldo's departure. We didn't get any money from his sale, but considering we worked with our initial starting transfer budget, we've spent £173.2 million on new arrivals and somehow managed to sell £76.6 million worth of profit, and now we're ready for the brand new 21/22 season. Here is how the team is currently operating. We've still got Chiellini, the captain. Cancelo slots in at right back. back. That midfield three of Dybala, Artur, and Locatelli. And we've got Caio Jorge, the Ronaldo-esque replacement, starting in up top instead of Alvaro Morata. They might not be built and ready to compete for the Scudetto straight away, but in 1 to 2 seasons' time, this team could really start to produce some amazing results. Well, in typical Italian dramatic fashion, we're witnessing a scintillating end to the Serie A season as it came down to the last day between 3 teams, and Juventus, our boys, came out on top with 84 points, but it was tied between 3. Could have gone to either Atalanta or Inter. The Bianconeri pulled through on either goal difference or head-to-head, denying the Bergamaschi of their first league title, but so many managers before us have come and gone and done the exact same thing, won the Scudetto without a hitch. Now it's time to see what this team's capabilities are in Europe and on multiple fronts, as it's Spezia, Venezia, and Salernitana all getting relegated to Serie B. And the teams getting promoted to the top flight of Italian football for next season is Parma returning, and Frosinone, my boys, getting promoted for the 3rd time in history. Over in the Supercoppa d'Italiana, it's kind of like the Community Shield of Italy. We lose out to Juventus, the Coppa Italia winners versus Serie A holders, in a 4-2 battle. That one's got a sting. Over in the Coppa Italia, it was Atalanta versus Sassuolo. The Bergamaschi took that one out 1-0 in the capital, and we were knocked out to the Nero Verde 4-3 on aggregate in the semis. Now here is what we got to show for in the Champions League, prime European competition, and I don't think it's the actual group stages for this season, but we got pulled into Group F, drawing alongside Red Star Belgrade, Ajax, and Barcelona. The boys came out on top, and over in the round of 16, they got absolutely pummeled against Atletico Madrid 5-1 on aggregate, and saw their European Cup run cut short like so many years prior. Even with Ronaldo, they got knocked out in a similar position, and it ended up being PSG to take home the crown against Manchester United in the final 2-1. Over in the Europa League, we saw Bayern Munich win it against Athletic Bilbao 3-1, and the inaugural winners of the UEFA Conference League is Spurs, as they take it home against their former boss Jose Mourinho 2-0 in the final against Roma. Now let's check in on our highest scorers, our MVPs, and it's actually Alvaro Morata, definitely putting up an argument of why I should actually approach him and make it a permanent deal. He's going back to Atletico Madrid at the end of the season with 28 goals and 10 assists. Hopefully Caio Jorge can replace that in season 2. Our brand new converted left winger Federico Chiesa with 20 goals and 5 assists. We've had Paulo Dybala pick up a lengthy injury. He is now out for 3 months, or he was out for 3 months with a torn quadricep muscle. Not a brilliant way to end the season, but 11 goals and 10 assists definitely did help us out. We've got Dejan Kulusevski, the best grower in the squad, the Swede, growing a +6, now at an 84 overall. 11 goals and 3 assists for him. Artur from the midfield with 10 goals and 9. As Joao Cancelo, upon his return, scoring 8 goals and 3 assists from left back. Caio Jorge had an unbelievable start to the season, but definitely was replaced by Morata in up top with 7 goals and 1 assist in 24 appearances. He grew a +4, and for our future Ronaldo replacement, we're going to need those numbers pumped up in season 2, as the new boy Klosterman from centre back or right back scored 4 goals, and Ismaila Sarr off the bench with 19 appearances, 4 goals and 1 assist. Camavinga was also involved with 2 goals and 2 assists in 31 appearances. Locatelli also with a rampant season, 5 assists and 2 goals. Hadouin did actually get some game time over in Milan with 2 goals and 2 assists. Wojciech Szczesny is proven that he still got it, the Polish shot stopper, with 1 assist and 16 clean sheets. Don't think we'll need to replace him anytime soon, as our highest valued asset now that Ronaldo's departed, it is Matthias de Ligt. It's a promising start to season 1. I'm not gonna lie, we still have many more pieces to the puzzle that need to form and develop into world-class players. It's funny, as Morata actually won the Golden Boot, we have a bunch of season 2 arrivals, a whole batch of loanees returning next season. But season 2, to be honest, I'm expecting a whole lot more. We kickstart season 2 with a defensive bang. Chiellini isn't getting any younger. We saw his massive downgrade last season, so our first purchase has to be a towering centre-back to partner up with de Ligt in the centre-half spot. It is Joe Gomez arriving from Liverpool. Yes, he is injury prone. We've taken that risk. However, the Englishman comes through. Liverpool asked a £57.6 million fee, and we were happy enough to pay it. He looks good in black and white, and the 25-year-old is already about to enter the peak of his career. So let's see how the de Ligt Gomez centre-back partnership comes into fruition in season 2. Even though we have got pretty much the same funds we had last year, £200 million in the bank, it has been a pretty relative quiet start to the transfer window. We introduced Gomez, and now we've got a couple of loan departures like Dragusin, who is again going out on loan, this time to Frankfurt for 1 year. Nicolosi Caviglia will be headed to the Premier League as Crystal Palace acquire his services for a 1-year loan, and Felix Correa returns from Parma and is going back on loan out to Spain this time to Celta Vigo. The more we progress with this Juventus rebuild, the more I realize how many failed, or not really failed, Wonderkids, the ex-career mode legends of the scene Juventus have had in their ranks. As we make the sale of the Croatian Marco Piazza, it was the next big thing when he arrived in Italy back in the day. I believe it was like around FIFA 17 time. From loan spell to loan spell, we finally get rid of him on a permanent deal, selling him to Atalanta for £7.4 million. With one left-sided player out the door, we have acquired a brand new left-sided master, and it's Marco Correa. He might be headed off to Brighton in real life, but we picked up the 24-year-old Spaniard for £58.8 million. He's got that special something, and he can fill in for either Chiesa at left mid or Alexandro at left back, so his contribution and versatility to the team is going to be vital. Now we've made it all the way to the end of deadline day, and I've no more intention of bringing in any new players or recruits. In contrast to our first summer window, it has been pretty lackluster. 2 player arrivals, we focused on quality over quantity. It's been a quiet summer here in Turin, but it's a summer we needed. Here is our starting 11 we have confirmed for the season. I know we have over £70 million to spend, and I haven't gone out and gotten a new striker or recalled Morata back on another loan spell, because I want Caio Jorge to be that next Ronaldo. I want him to be the focal point of our attack. Right now he's currently not there because he's still only 20 years of age, but the Wonder Kid has got so much more to go. But I'm willing to give Caio Jorge some time. I'm patient. Let's hope the Brazilian repays the favor and pulls through with a bunch of goals this season. And if you're interested, here's the Champions League group we've been drawn into. Group H sees us battle it out alongside Leicester City, Porto, and Celtic. A pretty easy group, definitely no group of death by any means. And just a little update on Ronaldo. Upon his departure last year, he is now 37 and at 91 overall. Still one of the world's best, you can't deny, but at least we're not coming up against him in the Champions League this year. As we close the curtain on yet another campaign, it has been 38 games cruising towards the Serie A title. The Scudetto's been clutched again with 2 back-to-back in a row titles, 100 points. Centurions for the Bianconeri as Napoli finished in second, 16 points behind. The 2 teams from the capital in 5th and 6th respectively, and Atalanta qualify for the Conference League. As we scroll on down to the relegation zone, my boys Frosinone with an embarrassing top flight stint, getting relegated, finishing rock bottom alongside Alessandria and Udinese, who will be all relegated back down to Serie B. Meanwhile, in the Supercoppa Italiana, we beat out the Coppa Italia winners Atalanta in a 3-1 victory. And could we go for the domestic treble, the Coppa Italia? Of course we could. It's a 3-0 demolition job of Fiorentina in the final at the Stadio Olimpico. That confirms our domestic treble haul. PSG went on to win the FIFA Club World Cup after their Champions League triumph, and over in the UEFA Conference League, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse for Arsenal, they went from losing Europa League finals now to winning the UEFA Conference League. 1-0 against Monaco in the final. At least it's something for them to celebrate about. UEFA Super Cup sees PSG take that one out against Bayern 2-0, and here is how the Champions League played out. We saw a pretty much perfect start, 18 points, 6 wins out of 6, finishing on top of Group H. Meanwhile, it was a mind-boggling tie against Wolfsburg as it finished 5-5 on aggregate. It went down to penalties, which saw the Bianconeri pull through 4-3, and over in the quarterfinals, how did they come out and beat Man City 5-1 is beyond me. It finished 4-6 on aggregate. The old lady progressing past the Citizens, and in the semi-finals, it was Ronaldo versus his former team, and it was United down to the wire on penalties to win 5-4 and got their ticket in the Champions League final. And Atletico Madrid went on to beat United. I didn't even realize last year it was Messi versus Ronaldo in the Champions League final. Spurs thought they could really go from winning the Conference League to taking home the Europa League. Well, Villarreal's knocked them straight back down to reality, winning 2-0.
Tottenham is the history of the Tottenham.
The team captured an Italian treble and also secured a semi-finals berth in the Champions League. If that is an improvement, I don't know what is. The Bianconeri look to be back to the peak of their powers once more, and here were the main MVPs of the squad. The top goal scorer, Federico Chiesa, with 33 goals and 7 assists. That season with 40 goal involvements in 53 appearances. That conversion to a left winger really did him justice. With an average 7.7 match rating, he has really been the baller of the rebuild so far. I'm so glad I made the loan deal permanent. We entrusted our faith into the 21-year-old, and now our number 21 has pulled through with 28 goals and 2 assists, 30 goal contributions in 56 appearances. He basically played every single game possible. Now, we raved about Chiesa on the left, but the man on the right side of the field, on the flanks is going to be Dejan Kulusevski, coming up with 27 goals and 11 assists, one of 2 players who achieved double figures in both departments this season. And Mohamed Hadouin, I didn't really expect him to burst into the first team, but the Dutch playmaker has pulled through with 15 goals and 13 assists in 52 appearances. Joao Cancelo, ever since returning to the club, has been an instant hitter, right back, 9 goals and 10 assists, and Ismail Assar has been the perfect little super sub and impact player to come off the bench. We've got Artur pulling the strings from midfield, 7 goals and 15 assists, and Paulo Dybala, he's gone up a +1 to an 89, but what a lackluster season for him. He's really fell off. His production and goal scoring form has vanished. Has that long-term injury from season 1 still carried over? Have the side effects continued? He hasn't been the same ever since that major injury, as Eduardo Camavinga from the middle with 3 goals and 5 assists, Klosterman from centre-back with 3 goals, and Matthias de Ligt, the captain, has been the first player to reach the 90s. We've got Cucurella and Gomez with pretty decent bouts in their debut campaigns, as Wojciech Szczesny again loves a cheeky assist, also getting himself 23 clean sheets in the process. And the 2 assets joining de Ligt in the £100 million club is going to be Artur from midfield and Dejan Kulusevski, who has grown +11 overall in 2 seasons. Crazy stuff from the Swede. We're going to have to get rid of that release clause because someone's going to come through and poach him for that price. So many questions to be answered in season 3, as we've seen the likes of Paulo Dybala not really have a season to remember right home about. Caio Jorge and Hadouin proving that they are the future of this team. Meanwhile, in the attack, it is the Chiesa and Kulusevski show. In this life without Ronaldo rebuild, the post-Ronaldo era, they have never looked closer to winning a Champions League title than now. He's a player that I feel like every single year, every summer that passes by, he is linked to a move away from Lazio, and especially to Juventus. It is Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, SMS, one of my favorite players, not only in real life, but in career mode as well. He's just so overpowered. And our brand new number 8 is going to come in midfield. He can play pretty much anywhere, CDM, CM, and Cam. He's a quality baller that has been tearing it up for Lazio for years now. The Serbian is a gargantuan presence. And again, it's one of those luxury signings. We literally have like over £200 million to spend. I might as well ball out on some of the best players in the league. I forgot to inform you of the intricacies of the deal. We've got yet another swap deal happening. £60 million plus the American Weston McKennie headed the other way to the capital. Our second signing so far of season 3's window is going to be some defensive cover for our backline, and it's the introduction of Diego Carlos for £42 million. He arrives on an outright deal from Spurs. As we poach the 30-year-old, he is literally the definition of a backup, just in case one of our main centre halves get injured. He's going to be there and ready to fill in for them. That could be the key to us winning the treble, heck, even the quadruple. And as much as we love introducing brand new recruits, we finally have a player departure right here with Matteo Luigi Brunori, 28-year-old Italian striker. I've been trying to sell him for ages now, and finally West Ham came through with a £1.7 million bids, and just like that, he is off to the London Stadium. It's a department where we have players in abundance, but I just want to continue improving and flexing our financial muscle, as we've agreed a deal with Monaco for the signing of Aurelien Tchouameni. The Frenchman linked to Manchester United, we have offered up £20 million plus Rolando Mandragora. Similar deal with how Camavinga came to the club in season 1. We're going to go ahead and accept that. It's another French midfielder joining our ranks. He'll be assigned as our brand new number 26 as we continue our tirade on Europe's best talents. I'm pretty confident this is how our main starting 11 is going to look headed into season 3, still with Caio Jorge up top. We have over £100 million to spend on a brand new striker, but we're keeping the faith in the Brazilian, hoping he can bounce back after his breakthrough campaign and continue to provide the goals. Milinkovic-Savic slots inside the midfield 3, partnering up with Artur. We're pretty much chucking a Pep Guardiola, a Man City-ian vibes kind of thing, because yeah, we don't have a main number 9 besides Caio Jorge. His time is now to become a world-class player. Most of our goal-scoring reliance is going to end up on the shoulder of our Ronaldo replacement. It's deadline day again, and for some strange reason, I don't know, I'm not feeling it. I'm not going all in with our available cash resources. I haven't been trigger happy or gun-ho with our, spending this season. We're still within the 9 digits, £122 million spent, 3 players in, 3 players out. Unlike Inter, who went on a £252 million spending spree. Here's the group we've been drawn into for the Champions League. Group B is calling our name alongside Borussia Dortmund, Monaco, and CSKA Sofia. Let's hope we can go one better this season and progress past the semis. It is now our 3rd Serie A campaign, which has reached its climax, and here again we had the free-flowing or free-spending Inter, I should say, who gave us a bit more of a test in up top, but we still breezed towards the title, reclaiming the Scudetto with 94 points. It's 3 years in a row. scenario. We've done it back to back to back. As Atalanta and Roma secure top 4 spots, we've got the likes of Sassuolo, Lazio finishing down in 13th, and surviving relegation is Sampdoria, as Benevento, Salernitana, and Spezia all get relegated back down to Serie B. Getting those automatic promotion spots will be Udinese and Venezia, as my boys at Frosinone are still in the mix in the promotion playoffs. When it came to the Supercoppa Italiana, it was a 3-1 victory over La Viola in the final, so it's a domestic double, and then again, 2 years running, we've gone ahead and done the domestic treble. 1-0 against Inter in the Coppa Italia final. In the Derby d'Italia, Sir BCHD's Juve have done the unthinkable 2 seasons running. It was Atletico Madrid to win the FIFA Club World Cup 3-2 against Internacional in the final, as the Europa Conference League see Leicester City take that one home 2-0 against PSV. We faced one of our toughest Champions League groups yet, and therefore we finished in second. We nearly got kicked out to the Europa League if it wasn't for Monaco's goal difference. However, in the round of 16, we surpassed PSG, knocking Messi out of the competition 4-3 on aggregate. The Parisians go home, and then up against Arsenal in the quarters, it was the 3-1 victory over the Gooners, and then in the semis, it is 2 years in a row. We continue the 2-year trend as Real Madrid, the Galacticos, knock us out 3-2 and deny us access into the final. It was an El Clasico. It was an El Clasico European final, as the Blaugrana win that one out 5-4 on penalties. Heartbreaking stuff yet again, as the Europa League saw Manchester City and Spurs do battle. The Citizens come through Europa League winners. They can't win the Champions League, but I guess that's the next best thing. And also, Spurs lose another final.
Tottenham is the history of the Tottenham.
It's pretty much been an exact replica of Season 2. A domestic treble, a Champions League semi-final knockout. How many more knocks and setbacks can we take? As we have a glance at our best performers and the Golden Boot winner again, it's Federico Chiesa with 28 goals and 2 assists. He's a goal-scoring winger with 30 goal involvements in 53 appearances, and the man leading the line up top than our 22-year-old Caio George. He played the most out of anyone, our sole striker with 62 appearances, 26 goals and 4 assists. Scoring goals in multiple competitions, you love to see the Brazilians' development. Growing a +4 this season, we've got Sergej Milinkovic-Savic with 14 goals and 9. Paulo Dybala, who I actually found out, submitted a transfer request. He doesn't want anything to do with the Bianconeri, but he still managed to score 12 goals and 7 assists. We've got him locked down to his contract, so he has to respect it. Ismail Yassar in and off the bench with 10 goals and 3. We've got Arthur in the middle of the park with 6 goals and 6. Mohamed Harouane, once more the Dutchman, providing some great goal contributions and assists. Joao Cancelo with some amazing performances at right back, sees him breach into the 90s. Someone who had a little bit of a lackluster campaign is Dejan Kulusevski, because he did pick up a 5-month injury. He pretty much missed half of the season, so I don't blame him for only getting 14 goal involvements. The Swede with an injury-plagued season, we've got Il Capitano Matthias de Ligt with 3 goals and 6. Klosterman from the back with 3 goals, just like Joe Gomez with 2. As Wojciech Szczesny has somehow just skyrocketed into one of the world's best category, world-class stuff from the poll, as he loves getting an assist every season with 24 clean sheets this time. We've got a safe pair of hands in between the sticks. As we say farewell to some of Juve's youth academy gems we've just given up on. Not good enough to break through to the starting 11. Our highest valued asset, even though he spent half a season out injured on the medical table, it's Dejan Kulusevski. New entries into the 9-figure club include Chiesa, Arthur, Paulo Dybala, and now Joao Cancelo. With questions about Dybala's future, do we need a main new number 10 and an attacking playmaker that can get double figures in both departments, as we are oh so close from achieving our main overarching goal. Knocked out at the final hurdle 2 seasons running now, we are entering a crucial phase. It's now or never. Season 4 is ahead of us. Our lowest rated defender in the backline was a 33-year-old Alexandro, so it only made sense for us to upgrade the left back spot this season, spending £96 million on Alphonso Davies. The Canadian arrives at 23 years of age, 87 overall, so it's a +1 upgrade to the position, but hey, we've got the money to spend. We can go out and ball big on luxury signings. Not only can he play at left back, but again, the versatility on this guy. I love versatile players in career mode. You know by now if you've watched enough of my content, but left back, left mid, and right mid, he can be used all across the pitch, and that's what I love about him. From a well-known future world-class prospect in football to a relatively unknown player, I don't even know if this guy is real or not. I think he's one of those unofficial Brazilian players that are in the Brazilian league. No face, just a fake player. It's Gerson or Gerson. I don't have any idea how to say his name. I just saw him at Real Sociedad, the 27-year-old in his prime, and we spent £84.4 million agreed agreeing the deal and bringing the Brazilian to Italy. I know you're probably rolling your eyes saying not another central midfielder, but he is more than that. He can play a cam / right wing, so just in case Dybala has another hissy fit and just doesn't want to play anymore, our boy Gerson can fill in at center attack and mid. Despite all the rumors and speculation surrounding Paulo Dybala at the club, I've decided to kind of keep him hostage here, like similar to Harry Kane at Spurs. I'm not gonna lie, I don't care. I just want him to stay at the club. He's still got a year and a half left on his contract. We've either got to win the Champions League now or never. If we want the Argentine to take us all the way to the top, we've had offers from Napoli and Spurs, but yeah, I've just flat out rejected them both. Not that it's gonna play too much of a part in the major scheme of things. We've sent 3 of our youth talents out on loan, including our homegrown talent Daniel Bianco. He'll be on Watford for a 1-year deal, just like Radu Dragusin. The Romanian departs to Roma for a 1-year basis, and Rovella will be headed to England. He is joining Norwich, just like the rest, on a 1-year deal. Like I said, I'm really in no mood to keep improving this team. I've got faith in the lads. We've built a pretty sustainable side, spending over £180 million on 2 players just because we can. Here is the old ladies Champions League group this time around, drawn into Group F alongside Olympic Lyon, Hertha Berlin and Rangers. Could be an easily toppable group, however, who knows at this stage of the game how Lyon and Hertha Berlin are getting on. There's your look at the rest of the competition as we aim to go all the way. Alphonso Davies is the only brand new summer signing that makes his way into the starting 11. As for now though, our destiny is in our hands. We've got a Champions League winning squad in our sights. Let's see where all this quality and depth gets us in Europe. We've proved ourselves time and time again that we're Scudetto champions. We're masters of Italy. We know the domestic game inside and out, and they've gone the extra mile this time, not only becoming Centurions, but invincible in the Serie A season, a 38-game campaign, and they've completely wiped the floor with the rest of the competition. No one came close. Gathering up 104 points, we've got Napoli, Roma, and Milan in the top 4, trying to contend for the title, but failing miserably. As we continue to scroll down towards the bottom end of the table, it is Sassuolo, Venezia, and Bologna all getting relegated back down to Serie B. Over in the Supercoppa Italiana, I just think it's going to be another clean sweep. Prove me wrong, Juve, as they win 3-1 against Inter, and over in the Coppa Italia, it was a penalties win, so it actually came pretty close in this one in the capital. At the Stadio Olimpico, it came down to 4-3 penalty shootout win. As we take a look at the Champions League, and I said we're going to top this group, and they've only gone and done it. Invincible in Serie A, but losing 1 game here in Group F. Progressing into the knockout rounds, and the round of 16 saw them breeze by Manchester City 4-2 on aggregate, knocking out the Citizens, and over in the quarters, it was another English opposition, a 3-2 win against Liverpool, and this could be the moment where they win on penalties over 180 minutes. It was 0-0 versus Atletico Madrid. They win 5-4 on penalties to grant their ticket into the Champions League final, and it's a 2017 rematch. Oh, the headlines just write themselves, don't they? In 2025, it's the battle for the Holy Grail. Who is going to take it home in this clash of giants? So much history in this competition between these two sides, and here is the starting 11 going out to battle tonight. In 4 seasons, we have brought Juventus back to a Champions League final after Ronaldo's departure. Let's take a gaze at the main performers this season in what could be our final look at the team. The top goal scorer, our boy, we put our belief in him since day one, and he was technically the Ronaldo replacement. We didn't have to sign him. Already in the roster, Kaio George. With his face scan and all, our number 21 scored 38 goals and 5 assists. That's his best campaign to date with 43 goal contributions. Dejan Kulusevski with a pretty injury-free season this time around, 15 goals and 7 assists, and 2 players got double figures in both departments. That was Mohamed Ahadarin, the Dutchman who has recently finalised his move to Juve in real life on deadline day. The 23-year-old with 15 goals and 12 assists, and then Federico Chiesa, 14 goals and 14 assists, perfectly balanced. Milinkovic-Savic from the middle of the park with 10 goals and 2. Arthur again with another pretty consistent Arthur-esque campaign. Alphonso Davies from left back went up to an 88 overall, also secured 7 goals and 2 assists, and Joao Cancelo being the world-class right back he always is. Paulo Dybala, you can tell he didn't want to be here. He doesn't like it at Juventus anymore under Sir BCHD, and he's been held at gunpoint to play for the Bianconeri with 3 goals and 1 assist in 37 appearances. Not the kind of numbers you expect from a player of that stature. We go down to Giorgio Chiellini, who is still 40 years of age kicking ball. He hasn't kicked the bucket yet. He's still hanging around and could be lifting up a Champions League trophy for Juve. Our man in between the posts, it's the Polish shortstop at 35, Wojciech Szczesny, with 28 clean sheets this season. They've got the keys to success success, some world-class players, and the talent is there. However, we had to manage so much more. The youth academy players, homegrown talent, players we loaned out, even signings we tried to imitate from real life, constant improvements, making ourselves better, falling at the final hurdle. This team has pretty much been through it all. However, tonight we're awarding the captain's armband to Kaio George, the position which I refuse to upgrade, our CR7 replacement. Can he do a madness in this Champions League final up against Los Blancos? The Galacticos are lining up like this in 2025. It's a pretty familiar squad to what we're used to nowadays. The addition of Jorginho, Romero, and Laporte at the back. They've got Walker and Robertson as the wing backs. It's a contentious side that's going to prove to be one hell of a challenge. So 8 years later, we're running it back. We're looking at two sides that have both lost Ronaldo in their time and are pretty much looking like a completely different outfit nowadays. Here in 2025 with that futuristic looking Champions League ball, we're out to claim Juve's first European title this century. They've still got some of their main stars, their heavy hitters, the Rodrigo and Vinicius Juniors of this world. Ballon d'Or contender Jorginho makes their starting 11. I mean, it's going to be a very fiery affair, so let's get this one underway. Enough hype, enough talk, and Benzema will get us kicked off. Kaio George, who has really proved the doubters wrong in this rebuild as Chiesa tries to thread it through to him. We've got Alphonso Davies who finds Arthur back inside, and Kaio George might set something up here with Dybala as he lets it through. It is Chiesa with the first shot of the game, and it's Courtois to come out heavy and palm it away. No, it was actually Arthur with the left foot bomb, and the Belgian did well to meet it. Surely De Ligt's our biggest aerial threat. Can he provide something from this corner? He tries the scissor kick, and Gomez, two of our centre backs combining for a ludicrous chance. It's Alphonso Davies with the interception. Somehow we've kept it in. And the Canadian bombing down this left-hand side, causing the defense all kinds of trouble. We have really grown into this match nicely. Dybala finds it through to Arthur, and again the two South Americans link up, and it's an unorthodox strike from our central midfielder, but he gets the job done and breezes it past Courtois. The Belgian couldn't do much about that shot, and Juventus break the deadlock. We get the first goal of the match, and it's a beautiful bit of team play here. Dybala with the assist. It's his second one all season. The little scoop to set up the space and allow Arthur to run through for that one-on-one chance. Sir BCHD looking ecstatic on the sideline. More of this, lads, and it's going to be a walk in the park. Savic again just causing an absolute ruckus, and all of a sudden space is opening up. Arthur again being our most dangerous attacking player. Back to Paulo Dybala. Is Kaio George onside? And somehow, what has gone down there? Kaio George gets his 39th goal of the season, and our number 21 pulls through with a big game goal. He's a big game player, and he points to the back of the jersey. Remember the name. The two Brazilians somehow linking up, and all the South Americans are doing the job in front of goal tonight. It took a rapid deflection. I think that's what made Kaio George not onside. He hurried back, and the defenders just didn't know how to deal with it. One of the weirdest goals I've seen in the Champions League final, and I've seen a few, but Kaio George doesn't care. And just like that, in the nick of time, we've gotten two in the space of 5 minutes. Samiro, what a tackle from Kulusevski, who comes back and does the dirty work. Dybala and Kaio George linking up, and all of a sudden the space is just here for Milinkovic-Savic to exploit, and he can't get it past Courtois. He panics in that one-on-one situation. The Serbian probably not our number one target we need in that situation. Out to Karim Benzema, who must be like 36 at this stage. Jorginho somehow slips through, and the Italian, just like a thief in the night, erupts from the shadows, and that's Real Madrid's first shot on target. Our 91 rated Szczesny couldn't deal with it, and he somehow curls it into the bottom left-hand corner ever so elegantly. A chance out of nowhere, really. Benzema slotted him through. Arthur was trying to mark him, and with that left foot trigger, he lets it bounce into the bottom left-hand corner. Sir BCHD absolutely furious. We're about to enter the sheds 2-0 up, but now Real Madrid have found a way back into the game. Benzema, now we are on the verge of half-time, and Real Madrid aren't resting on their laurels, but they're going to have to for 15 minutes as we go into the sheds at 2-1 up. It could have been the perfect start, but that Jorginho goal has really brought us down to earth and tainted the half-time spirit, but we're here to give it our all in the second 45. Our boy Gomez to leap above the rest and win the header. Arthur back inside. Kaio George moves it quickly. Dybala, the South American link up. Now Arthur involved. Ball over the top. It's Dybala in space on the left foot. Finesse shot. Benzema is coming off for Real Madrid. They're bringing on Borja Mayoral to try find this equalizer in the box. And again, This is not the area we want them in, as it's a completely missed header from De Ligt. Lets the ball run, and it's Casemiro, but Milinkovic-Savic with a game-winning block to deny the Brazilian of a shot on goal. And that is a big match moment. De Ligt not even caring that he nearly gave it up a goal. He's still all smiles, gives the thumbs up as Real Madrid make yet another change. It is Domingos Duarte coming on for Kyle Walker. Somehow revives the situation, and Kulusevski, 1 or 2 passes later, it's Caio Jorge on the outside. Can he deliver the perfect cross into Dybala? As it's Rodrigo who scoops the ball over the top to Mayoral, but De Ligt will win that header 10 times out of 10. Now Paulo Dybala with time and space on the ball delivers it through to Dejan Kulusevski. Now 1-on-1 to finish off the game, and the Swede does what he does best and finds the back of the net. He's had tough times and tribulations throughout his career, with the 5-month injury setting him back in Season 3. But what a perfect response as he delivers the final nail in Real Madrid's coffin. The 1-on-1 chance. He's been pretty quiet in this match alongside Chiesa on the left-hand side, but he doesn't care. He gets the final decisive goal. The one moment that's going to be remembered forever. The Swedish Viking comes through with an 88th minute winner. The referee's got the whistle in his mouth and he's blown for full time. We did the business in the first half with those 2 rapid fire goals. We held off the Real Madrid attack. They posed the threat of returning into the match and sending it to extra time, but we were patient, rested on our laurels, and delivered the perfect sucker punch counter attack in what was a crystal clear Champions League final. The only winners were Juventus on the night, and life after Ronaldo doesn't seem too bleak after all. CR7 might have departed, but there is still so many more future signs and prospects for the days ahead. It's been yet another successful rebuild challenge as we head on into FIFA 22. Let me know down below what other content you want to see on the channel. We're going to be trying to deliver as regularly as possible. Sir BCHD is successful again, and the Ronaldo replacement not only with a goal in the final, but he's going to lift up the Champions League trophy to come full circle. If you did go on to enjoy and have come this far, make sure to drop the video a like down below, hit subscribe, turn on those notifications to stay updated on all the content coming to the channel. Follow me on all my socials, the links are down in the description below. As always, I've been Sir BCHD. Have a great day, take care, and I'll catch you all in the very next video.
Got me singing. I just can't ever lose. I know they mad, I'm on the move. Step to me, better duck, goose. Pedal to the metal, never slowing up, zone. I'm the flies in the room. Smoking reefer, smell the fumes. To the stars, to the moon, to the stars, to the moon, to the stars, to the moon. No. I know they know I leveled up. Sipping drink, got the double cup. Got me feeling, ooh, nah. And now I'm saying